All right. I think this is gonna be fun. All right, so doing the intro live with you. All right, so you ready to do this, Matt?
I'm ready.
All right. You're listening to We Used to Talk About This at Work, and today we're talking about Concrete Cowboys. So, I guess introductions are in order. My name's Chad.
My name's Matthew.
Oh, Matthew. Okay, you
That's
want people?
My name.
You want people to like address you like they're your parents?
Oh, sorry, I didn't. Okay, my name is Matt.
I
should have. You didn't go with Chadwick, so I should have went with Matthew, right? My name is Matt.
That is not on my legal documents, all right? So, yeah, we are two friends, like many other friends around our age group, in their 30s, that have decided we are so funny and interesting that we're going to make a podcast. Are we funny in it?
Oh, no. Are we funny and interested? I think so.
Everybody thinks that they're funny and great, and we think that too. So why not, right?
Right, and plus, because topics that we normally used to talk about at work, it's hard to do it for multiple reasons. A, we do not work together anymore, and B, I guess I'm in a totally different country right now.
So yeah, so that's two things I kind of want to jump on real quick. So yes, this podcast is called We Used to Talk About This at Work. And this is not a podcast of two coworkers that aren't in the same space anymore because of COVID. This is a podcast of two former coworkers who both got different jobs. They both just left the job that they met at. So just for that clarity, I guess.
And also, I want to make a note that you left me. You left first, and then I was so distraught and everything, I couldn't work there anymore. And I was like, I need to find my own place, my own country. I'm not gonna get hurt like this again.
Yes. I did leave you. I left like a thief in the night. Yeah, so I guess let's rewind a little bit. So like we said, I'm Chad, and I used to work with Matt. I want to say we met in 2016.
Yes.
Yeah. So we met in 2016, and I'm gonna be very honest. I don't remember the early times of us meeting. Like I just remember like once we were like very like jokey with each other, like those times. But like I do not remember when we like actually first met.
I remember when we first met. I remember our first conversation, I should say.
Okay.
Our first conversation was you were planning, or you were about to have your wedding.
Okay.
And you was talking to another coworker, like giving her an invitation or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, where's my invitation at?" And you was like, "I just met you," type of thing. And I was like, "So that means I won't be able to
go." That's funny, man. That's funny, man. Because like I think about that from time to time. Not specifically what you said, but like if we met like a year earlier, I would have asked you to be in my wedding.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I always thought like, because we hit it off pretty good, and it was just like, yeah, it's like right when I started working there, that's when you was at like maybe like a couple weeks later, that's when you got married.
Yeah. No, that's not right at all. Because I got married in October of 16.
And when did that?
And you guys had to have started in like March because you were like the longest, I guess, more context. Just note, guys, we are terrible at telling stories. So at my last job, I was a training coordinator. So the group of trainees that Matt came in on, they were like the longest group that we had at the time. And you guys were there so long that they were talking about just making all of us just one big team. So you guys like had that started like in March or April, and you went through all like the training stuff, and then you guys were still there, and we were getting new trainees.
That's right. That's right. That's right. You should have just took a chance on me at the beginning and invited this random dude to your wedding, man.
I didn't know that we'd be here together, 5 years later, like, we're gonna make a podcast together. I mean, I'm gonna say it, that's pretty intimate for, us middle of the road millennials.
Right.
That's like back in the day when, I mean, people still do it, but when you'd ask your friend to help you move, like that's that level of intimacy. So,
Right. Yeah, because you're not gonna ask anybody because they're gonna
yes,
be
that's
touching
my
your
stuff, right?
right. Yeah. But yeah, so that yeah, then I guess once since I was there on the team for so long and we just talked and we was able to just connect on a different level. You like the same kind of stuff, not the same kind of stuff, but you're on the same joking level as I am on.
So we hit it off pretty well. Um, so that is kind of how we met. We worked at the same place. But yeah, so like I said, I'm Chad and I am married at this point. I guess, yeah. So 2016. So October of this year will be 5 years married. And at this point, I have a daughter. So that may not come into play today in the stories that we will tell, but I'm going to be one of those people that just has a lot of stories to tell about their kid. And, since you're listening, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to make you listen to those.
But to give the listeners a little backstory, you used to be the type that didn't want no kids.
I didn't know
You was very adamantly about not wanting any kids.
I didn't know we was getting into it, but
I'm just
yes.
I'm just trying to create a good, wholesome environment for the listeners so they can get the whole stories.
Yes.
So what changed your mind?
Honestly, have I actually told you the story?
No, I don't think so. But I also have a bad memory, so maybe.
Okay, so it was literally the day that I stopped working at our last job. My wife took me out to dinner, and we were just eating and just talking like, oh man, like new adventure, new job, blah 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 blah. And just out of nowhere, she was like, "Do you think we should have a kid?" And I was like, yes, I do. Like, I don't know, like it just yes, let's have a kid. And then a little over a year later, we had a kid. And I'm not gonna be somebody that says it was the best idea in the world we've ever had. Like, like, was the tax money great? Absolutely. And
Yes.
Uncle Joe's giving out stimulus checks, so we got a little boost that way. But honestly, I haven't had a good night's sleep in almost a year. My daughter does not like to sleep. So you can't see this on my setup, but she has a like a little video monitor thing in her room, and so got my little iPad over here, just dedicated to her to just make sure she's not waking up or just trying to climb out of her crib or anything crazy like that. But yeah, so I do enjoy my time with her, but she is a lot. She's a lot. And I'm so sleepy. I cannot tell you how badly I miss sleeping in. And I can't tell you, Matt, how much I like you as a friend to be doing this, because right now it is 10 p.m. in America. And as you alluded to, you live in Japan. And
Mhm.
so we have a 14-hour time difference. So coordinating this is not ideal.
Yes. And I would, oh, so I have a son, and I would like to sympathize with you saying that the sleepless nights is because I didn't have to go through that. I was in the military when my son was born, and I got deployed a couple weeks after he was born, and I was deployed for 7 months. So by the time I came back, he was always sleeping through the night. He was good to go.
So
So I never had. I don't know those troubles.
what I'm hearing you say is that you are a horrible person.
Hey man, this is the military life. I mean, I give all props to my wife, but I am not familiar with those problems.
It's that's fair. Like I do sometimes want to talk to you about this stuff, but I'm also like you can't relate, so I'm just not going to say anything to you.
You can still tell me. I can pretend to relate.
No, it's like talking into the wind. Like you hear me, but it's like you don't care. You have nothing to contribute, and that's fine. Respect, but I'm just not gonna have those conversations with you.
Well, then we just gotta wait till she's sleeping through the night, and after that, and then I'll be able to help you out from there. Once she can sleep through the night, then I can give you advice after that.
I don't know, man. It feels like there's no end in sight with this little one, but who knows?
But don't worry, when she wakes up and she smiles at you, you forget all about that lack of sleep.
That is so true. That's so true. Also, like, I genuinely wanted a girl because in my mind, you know, I could turn her against her mother and it'd be me and her against the world because I'm not getting put in a home when I'm old. And that's actually part of the conversation too. Like, who's gonna take care of us when we're old?
Wow, that never was crossed my mind when I decided to have a child. Wow. I don't know. I never that never crossed my mind. Huh.
But you good now because you got a son who will hopefully not miss. I feel like he'll be cool with mom, but he'd be like, "I hate you, dad," and see.
Actually, no. Like he is on my side all the time, and to the point where now the wife would like to have a girl so she won't be teamed up on, and then she can have somebody on her side too.
Yeah,
So,
but like my thing is this also, like your son is at this point like 45 years old. Like you don't want another child.
and that's the biggest thing is as much as I want a girl and everything like that, I'm just like, my son is so self-sufficient now
Yeah.
where I don't have to do anything. I can sleep in, he can get his own food and all this stuff, and I don't have to do anything. And it's like I think almost at the point where probably like another year or so, he'd be at the point where he can stay home by himself. Then I'm gonna be golden then, and I can just then it's more like a child, more like a buddy. Just he's at home doing his thing like a roommate. So then he can do his own thing, and I ain't got to really pay attention to him.
Oh gosh, I long for those days with my daughter. One day at a time, right?
Yes, one day at a time. I mean, and I honestly like they grow up fast, so cherish it. I know people say that a lot, but it's true because last week feels like he was in diapers, and now he's eating me out of the house and home, and it's just crazy. Just like we go to McDonald's, and no lie, I get him a double quarter pounder cheese meal and a Big Mac
No,
sandwich,
no.
and he eats all of that.
And he's 10 or 11 now.
10.
Okay. No.
So he eats everything in sight. So you don't see you good with just bottles and things right now. See, you don't want them to be growing up and stuff.
I mean, she's 9 months now. Like she's eating solids.
Oh, okay.
It's not, I mean, I can't give her like a chicken nugget, but
I am in Japan for two reasons. A, when I was in the military, I was stationed in Japan for 6 years, and I loved it in Japan. And also, when I was stationed here for those 6 years, I met my wife, in Japan, and her family's here and everything. So once I changed duty stations in the Navy and then got out, we stayed in the States. We was there for 10 years. So once Chad left me, I was so distraught and I didn't want to be at my place of business because he just had too many memories and I couldn't deal with that.
That's
So I was
fair.
like, I just need to get out of here.
That's
So
fair.
then
And like to twist the knife, like you know how Facebook has those memories and stuff.
Mhm.
And so I got somebody forwarded me a memory because they were tagged in it where it's been like this week 2 years since I left that job. And I'm like, that's funny. That what a time to start a podcast, huh?
Right. So, so then it was just I just was trying to get back here just so she could see her family and everything like that. And I was lucky enough to get a position, and I've been here since end of 2019. So the wife is happy seeing her family. My son gets to see his Japanese family. Job is good. So everything's working out.
That's good. And you've been there, hold up. Yeah, you've also been there 2 years, right?
Yeah, it'll be 2 years in August.
Right, because I left in April and you left America in August, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we're just two quitters.
And man, you got to move on to bigger and better things.
So why don't you tell me what you've been up to this week, Matt?
I've been up to, my son has started kickboxing, so I've been doing that. Had to buy pads and things like that. He's showing promise, and it's kind of got me thinking that maybe,
He could beat you up.
well, that, and also I was thinking, how, what if somebody, like, I'm walking with my family and somebody just comes up and like rocks me in my jaw, and I'm like, and I can't defend myself, and then my son and my wife will be thinking less of me this whole time, like he's supposed to protect us.
When you started talking about like walking down the street with your wife and son and you get attacked by some mugger, I started thinking like Bruce Wayne, like his origins. It's like
Well,
I mean, he already started the young man on his fight training, so
well, the biggest problem with that scenario is
you die.
his parents were millionaires.
Oh yeah.
Me and my wife, we all right. So
you
I don't know if he's gonna have the access to the technologies and stuff like that.
you don't have a fat life insurance policy for him?
Actually, I mean, with the military and what I do now, maybe
That's fair.
he'll be all right. He'll be
That's
all right,
fair.
but he ain't gonna be let me build this cave and things like that.
I got some equipment. Okay, so your son is doing kickboxing and he's showing promise. So how long has he been in it?
He's been in 2 weeks, and also he was getting bullied at school, and he
Wait, you say he was getting bullied?
yes, there was this kid who, I guess, the bully of all the class of all of the fourth grade basically. And I taught my son to, when if something happens, tell the teacher. If nothing happens, then defend yourself. So
Right.
they got into fisticuffs, and I told him when we got home, I was like, show me what you was doing. And he was like swelling his arms around and everything else like that. I was like, well, we're in Japan. I signed him up for some karate lessons. But then I talked to a guy who also has a daughter here, and he was saying that karate lessons, it's going to take too long for them to actually learn and develop stuff to actually use in a real fight. So he suggested kickboxing because his daughter goes there. So we tried it, and he showed promise, and he's looking good, and he really enjoys it. So, and he got his blocking up. So, and he hasn't had any problems in school anymore. And he says that if he does, he'll know how to handle that bully.
Okay, so you heard it here, folks. Matt's son is going to attack a child.
Yes, yes, in full force.
So
that's what.
Honestly, I didn't know that they were still doing bullying. Like, you know how like the kids are like really hard up on this anti-bullying stuff. I genuinely thought that that's something that was snuffed out.
No, but it's not like when I was in school where, well, also he's only in fourth grade, but it's not about like, oh, you got dirty shoes on, or you don't have J's, or you don't have whatever. It's more like picking on, where I'm gonna push you down for no reason, and then
Right. That
yeah,
natural boy aggression stuff. We've all been there.
yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, so he does that, and after that, I've been watching different stuff on Netflix. I'm really into, ever since I used to never watch anime. I used to think that was nerd stuff. Then once I got to the only anime before I got to Japan, I watched Pokemon, if you consider that an anime.
Or
But then,
I mean, it does come from Japan.
right. So then once I got here, I discovered the anime One Piece, and it's
So,
over 960 episodes long, and I love it. And then once I started watching that, I've been all into anime now.
so that's kind of like my thing against like One Piece specifically. Like you have almost 1,000 episodes, and there's clearly no end in sight. Like, why would I watch that? Not so much like, oh man, I need to watch 1,000 episodes or something, but like this has no ending. Like, why am I
It has
gonna get
no
on that
it,
train?
it has no ending yet.
I feel like that's gonna be in the same realm as SpongeBob and Simpsons, where it's like we're making money, just keep going.
No, apparently, if you read the manga, there is
Which I haven't.
you should, well, I haven't either, because you don't get the same effect with the anime. But in the manga's ahead of the anime, and it's actual like storylines and stuff like that goes with it. But it's a lot. It took me 8 9 months to catch up to it.
Oh wait, you're caught up. You watched all 900 episodes?
And then as of this week, 969, and I watched that yesterday. So 969 episodes,
What? Why no?
because it's good. It's so good, like it draws you in with the emotion. I'm not gonna lie, in those 969 episodes, I've cried twice.
I believe you, and that's not a knock against you. I mean, it's just you've got almost 1,000 tries. Like you're gonna hit something, right?
Right, plus
Like
because with so many episodes, they had more time to build the characters, more time to invest in them, get you invested in them into their individual journeys and stuff like that. So when something big or sad happens, it's going to hit you more because you invested so many episodes with these characters.
that makes sense. So let me ask this. So it's an adventure type show, right?
Hmm.
And he has a crew. I don't. I'm just spitballing. It's
You're
it's
right.
this it's the same crew with him that's been with him since like the beginning of the series, or have
No,
they like okay? So they all right. So
they've
I at
they've
least
gained
appreciate that.
members. They've gained new members, different places they have gone.
Okay, okay, I can respect that, and like people come and go.
Yeah, and then
Okay,
people die, like legit died, not like
yeah.
you
No,
thought they were dead, and then they show up, look up, like people legit die.
like
And
old dude from Fast and Furious.
right.
Oh, oh, Han.
And let me think. Also been watching have you heard Snowpiercer on Netflix?
Yes. Now, when I saw you put that on the outline, I really wanted to talk about that. So I'm assuming you're talking about the TV show.
Yes.
Have you seen the movie?
No.
Okay. I like the movie a lot, and I like the TV show. Like I've seen all of the first season and like the first episode of season 2, and I'm guessing you've seen both seasons.
No. I'm exactly where you're at. I've seen all of season one and the first episode of season two.
Okay, so I like the movie more because like it's just like 2 hours. Here's the story, like
Hmm.
boom, boom. I'll appreciate the TV show because it like delves into the characters more, but also I don't know, man. It's like the more TV I watch, the less magical it is. Like you kind of feel like this is a TV moment, like moments where it's like, okay, just kill this person and let's move on with our lives. But this actor is contracted to be on the show at least until the end of the season, and so he can't die. Or
So you
and
don't think you don't think it's just part of the storyline for this person to stay longer?
I think they're just stretching it out. Like I will be very specific. So and also spoilers. So spoilers for at least season one. I forget the redheaded little girl.
RJ.
Yes, her. So they put her on trial because also spoilers. She is responsible for the serial killings on the train, and she gets off. But and they riot, and she gets to live, and I feel like that is a TV move because they're like, okay, you're renewed, your contract's been renewed for season 2, so come on back, RJ.
So, or their storyline purposes about why she is, because if she would have died then, then they wouldn't have. If RJ would have died when she got convicted, then they wouldn't have been able to pull off at the end about the whole Wolford thing and bringing her up there with his son. She was a means to an end.
I just feel like we have a train full of characters. Why can't we just move on?
So yes, it's too many. So you don't. It's too many characters for you.
I'm not saying there are a lot of characters, and because the cast is so large, it's not going to focus evenly on a lot of them.
Yeah, that's true. Like the Madam don't get a lot of TV time.
Exactly. So like I do like the show. Like I watched, and so you're in Japan, so it's both seasons are on your Netflix, right?
Yes.
Right. So I watched it so I was watching season 1 as it was airing last year. And then I watched the season 2 premiere like a few days after it premiered. And I was like, okay, I'm with it, but I just never jumped back on. Like I don't hate the show.
You should watch episode. What I seen episode 2.
Yeah, we're at the same. Oh, you saw the second
one?
No,
I've seen episode 2. The reason I bring this up is this is the first time I've ever seen they had a warning before the show.
Interesting.
About suicide.
Oh. Okay.
So yeah, and I watched it. It's I'm trying to think, how do I want to say this? The suicide part was not the part that got to me. It's what happened after the suicide. That was like, yikes.
Can I guess? Is it cannibalism?
No. No. It's, well, I can tell. When we tell you, you want to be surprised.
I'm not watching it. And I'm sorry if somebody's listening to this that wants to watch Snowpiercer season 2, episode 2. You can you can cover your ears for 10 seconds.
Yeah, 10 seconds. So person kills himself in the bathtub with the bad guy, and the guy's in the bathtub with him. So he's sitting in the tub with the guy's blood, and the dog comes up in the bathtub and starts licking up the water, the bathtub water with the blood in it. And I was like, all right.
That's pretty disgusting.
Yes. But besides that, I think it's a good show. But also it is a long, I'm not used to always having 45-minute episode shows. So it is kind of time consuming.
What are you watching that's a half an hour besides? I guess the only thing you've been watching the last year is One Piece, huh?
Yeah, all my anime ain't 45 minutes.
So
that's true. So I also started watching Vikings, and that's like 45 minutes too.
Okay.
So okay, wait, I don't know. I haven't been in the States in 2 years, so all like shows like that are 45 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, well, you know, they have 1 hour blocks because it's on TV with commercials, but yeah.
Okay.
So what do you watch with your wife? If
usually movies or we used to watch One Piece together. Then she ventured off on her own, and I kept going.
Okay.
But usually, just if I say, "Hey, like this is a good show," she'll check it out. But usually, she likes her Japanese drama, her Korean dramas. We don't really watch only thing we don't watch a lot of TV shows together. We only watch movies.
Gotcha.
So we watch the King Kong, Godzilla movie together, things like that. We'll watch, but usually TV shows we're on our own.
Okay.
Separate but equal.
I'm speechless. Okay. I was curious about that, with your comment about show length. So tell me about Vikings.
Vikings basically I started playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and that's about Vikings. Then I found this, and I was like, oh wow, they talk about the same thing, and I didn't know Vikings dealt with the gods of like Loki, Odin, and Thor.
Yeah, Nordic and
yes,
such.
And it's a good show too. It's basically about Vikings coming from trying to sail to the west to England and raid and riot and pillage and stuff like that. But it doesn't show nudity and stuff. Like, I don't know. I don't watch Game of Thrones.
I think it's a History Channel show or A&E. It's like a basic cable show. And I'm not saying, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, like, so that's why it's not going to be the level of a Game of Thrones with the nudity, and it's going to have gore and stuff because it's American, but you know.
Right. Yeah. So that's what it is. There's a gore, but there's no nudity or anything like that. And it's just same thing with that and Snowpiercer. It's good, but it's like 45 minutes per episode. So only watch one episode a day, if that, and it's just time consuming. So I watched the first season of that, and I'm waiting till I finish Snowpiercer to start season 2.
So I just looked it up. There's 6 seasons of this show.
Damn.
Like, what? Season 6 has 20 episodes? Like, how many episodes in season? What is happening here?
10. It's usually 10 episodes.
Maybe season 6 is the last season? I can't speak to this because I've never seen it, but that's a lot of episodes for one season.
Hopefully, towards the end, they're not just doing things just to do them, and it all still makes sense.
I thought that was okay. It's okay when Snowpiercer does it, huh?
We only on season. You were talking about on season 1. This is season 6 of that. You already want new development off season 1.
So okay, I'm looking at the dates, and there was a split between the first 10 episodes, and I'm assuming the last 10 episodes were on a streaming service because the release date is the same day, December 30th.
Okay.
So that's on Netflix over there too?
Yes.
Interesting. It's so interesting, like how different Netflixes are in other countries.
Get yourself a VPN, and then you can watch anything and everything.
We're not gonna talk about that because we're waiting on our VPN sponsorship.
You right. So, NordVPN. Yeah, NordVPN. Email us.
What I'm playing for me is Kingdom Hearts. So I am a big Disney fan, but I didn't have a PS2. And Kingdom Hearts started on the PlayStation 2. So basically, it is a mesh of Final Fantasy characters and scenarios with like Disney characters and Disney worlds. So some dark entity is coming and just consuming worlds. And so Mickey Mouse and Goofy, they're looking for Mickey Mouse. Wait, did I say that? Donald Duck and Goofy. I don't know what I just said. They're looking for Mickey Mouse, and they find this kid named Sora, who's like basically an orphan from a world that was like consumed. And so they're going around like to different worlds, like Aladdin's world or Alice in Wonderland world, and they're fighting like the dark creatures that's trying to take over those worlds and seal off these doorways in which the dark creatures are coming to their worlds. So my biggest issue with Kingdom Hearts is that game came out in 2002. So I'm playing it on my PS5, but it's the PS4 version, and all they did was just slightly upgrade the graphics.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest issue I have, well, I got two. One are the controls. So I don't know why, but like the X button is attack and the circle button is jump. And that's just yeah.
Yeah, that's not right at all.
No, absolutely not. And then my other issue is that so the game would be like, hey, we need to go talk to so and so on in this town. And you're like, okay. And that happened in a cutscene. And the cutscene ends, and you're like, wait, I'm supposed to talk to who, where? And like, there's no like objective menu or objective screen. And
so you just gotta figure. Hope you wrote it down.
Right. So it's like I feel like back in the day, you know, when we were kids and we'd play a game like a story game, and we like, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. This game is stupid. I'm gonna turn this off because we didn't know what to do, and we weren't about to spend $20 on a guide. Like it's giving me flashbacks to that. Like thankfully now I could click on YouTube and I have access to hundreds of videos of people playing the game with and without commentary. So like I'm thankful for that, but I'm just like, it's annoying because it's like I'm with this game, but like you're doing stuff like that where I'm like, I don't want to get mad at you because this is something that's like almost 20 years old. But I also want to get mad at you because this is not the first remake of this game. This is the second one because this same game came out on PS3 and now I'm playing the PS4 version and you did not incorporate that into the game. Like, why can't I change the controls? Like, you
right, that's something easy that every game has. You just change the controls.
And so what I ended up having to do is I had to go into the PlayStation's accessibility settings and I had to remap my actual controller to the whole system.
Wow.
Right. Right. Just to fix their mistake. So every time I want to like start the game, I gotta hit square instead of X. And it's dumb. So
it's kind of like playing on the Switch, then playing on the PlayStation.
Oh my God, yes. Like you ended up like exiting out of stuff like you were trying to.
Right.
So I am enjoying Kingdom Hearts. I beat Kingdom Hearts 1 today. I was playing it for about 3 weeks now. And so how familiar are you with the series?
Not at all. Your example of what the game is my knowledge of it.
So it's very famous for being convoluted because people talk about how there are like a lot of filler games in the series, but technically there aren't. So the pack that I have the Kingdom Hearts all-in-one package, which has 10 of the 11 console Kingdom Hearts games.
Damn, it's been that many?
Yeah, like the 11th just came out like late last year. So the problem with this series is you would think that so you got Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3, and then you've got like let's see, you got Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, Kingdom Hearts Coded, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, and like so some of those other games like came out on GameCube and the PSP. And so you would think, and like they aren't all like straightforward, like how I describe, like kind of like Zelda, where it's like, you know, action, like live action, like click, you know, hit the button and then he swings. Like one of them is a card-based game where like you can't like straight up attack people. You have to collect cards, and that's how you fight people, like Yu-Gi-Oh style almost. And the problem is like every single game continues the story. So in the timeline, it is Kingdom Hearts 1, the card game, and then Kingdom Hearts 2. So if I skip that middle game that came out on Game Boy, and just go straight to Kingdom Hearts 2, I'm not gonna understand the story.
Well, you started a podcast, you might as well start a Twitch too, and then just go through it all.
So no, I'm just gonna be raggedy because like even though Kingdom Hearts 1 is supposed to be the game that is you can understand the most, like they already lost me. Like I got like 30 hours into the game. They lost me like at hour 15. So like I'm skipping those cutscenes and I'm just here to fight stuff in Disney worlds. Like I'm like, yep, I'm just kicking it with Aladdin. You know, we got Genie over here. I'm fighting some bad guys and let's go. Like I don't
You could
care.
probably find something online to give you the story part with it.
I have, and I'm like, no, none of this makes sense. It's like time travel. It's like unnecessarily convoluted. Like you got Heartless, you got Shadow people. Like there's clones of people. It's too much, man. It's too much. All right.
But you're still gonna play the game though, right?
Because I love Disney. All right. So today we're gonna talk about the 2020 Netflix movie Concrete Cowboys.
Yo! There's a horse in your house.
Oh, that's you right here.
I ain't staying here.
All right. So once you step out, that door stays locked till morning.
The description is, in this drama inspired by the real-life Fletcher Street stables, 15-year-old Cole, played by Caleb McLaughlin, is taken to live with his estranged father, Harp, played by Idris Elba, in North Philadelphia. There he discovers the city's vibrant urban cowboy subculture, which has existed for more than 100 years, providing a safe haven for the neighborhood despite the surrounding poverty, violence, and encroachment of gentrification.
So my thoughts now, I didn't read any of that when I watched the movie. So I was coming off of it blank. So as I watched it, and my thoughts was that first thing that caught me was at the very end and how the real Cowboys was actually.
I apologize for cutting you off. So we aren't doing like a non-spoiler segment like on this show. When we talk about the movie at hand, we're just coming out swinging.
Oh, I was. Okay. Let the viewers know, hey, y'all had time. Y'all read the description before you downloaded this. You should have saw that what we was talking about.
Exactly.
But yeah, so at the end, they explained how the characters in the movie were the actual cowboys. And I was like, wow, I don't know these people can act, but like they could. So I thought they was real actors and everything. I know they was actually a cowboy.
Right.
But, and then I saw that it was a real story. So of course, like after almost anything I do, after I watch something, I go to Wikipedia to see how much is true and what's not true and everything else like that. So then I seen how, yes, they had that this is true and how there's different places like this across the US, which is crazy to think.
Right. Like I remember like, so I grew up in like the city in St. Louis. And I remember like at times like, you know, just seeing some Black person around a horse. And I'm like, oh, okay. That is the thing you're doing, sir. Okay.
Right. So it's crazy. But the movie itself, I enjoyed it. There was some kind of questions I had during it, but like minor questions. I wish they explained how Caleb was getting in trouble and everything like that, but like they didn't really explain like why or what he was doing, just that he was getting in trouble. So I'm like, am I supposed to go off the reason why he was getting in trouble because he had a single mother? Was he in the gangs? Like they didn't really go into why was he doing the things he was doing.
That's interesting that your mind went there. So like the movie opens and is all voiceover, and there some person at the school is explaining to his mom that Cole got into a fight and they called the police. And that really kind of resonated with me because, you know, so just so that, you know, we can get really heavy on the very first episode about how he got into a fight at school. Like, who among us has not had some sort of your son got into a fight at school, right? Mm-hmm. And he, at least to me, he looks more Black than Asian. And depending on where he would have gone to school if he still lived in America, if he would have gotten into a fight with some other kid, the police probably would have been called because like it's just kind of a unfortunate thing about black kids. They cannot show any kind of aggression because it's just going to be escalated to the to the police. So Cole was probably not a super bad kid, but like maybe he had some problems and maybe he needed somebody to talk to. I'm not gonna crap on his single working mother or anything like that, and I'm not saying you were either.
No, I'm saying
But
like, yeah, they didn't give no explanation of why, or like you said, was it just a thing where he was getting bullied, so he fought,
right.
and this is the reason why? Is it do it because he was a bully in doing this? It's like they didn't really give an explanation of why he was getting trouble.
And like I'm guessing like that's the whole point. It's like, so many black kids, and it's not just black boys. It's not even black people. So many kids in, lower income areas just get, profiled and like just swept up and, just put in a box of like, okay, you are aggressive, you are a problem. It's only a matter of time before you are just spending most of your life in jail. Let's escalate that. So I just saw it really like a, Fresh Prince, a reverse Fresh Prince, where, bad things were going to happen. Not saying that he was going to be the cause of it, but like the end result would have been either prison or death for him. And his mom was like, you need something that I cannot provide. So
Right.
I feel like the why really doesn't matter because even I don't think his mom even cared why. She just did not want her son to die.
Well, I think she knew why, because she said this is not the first time this has happened. She said that we so many times that she has to talk to the police, talk to the principal, tell them that he knows better, and then that's when she's done this multiple times in multiple schools, and then she's like, now I know you don't know better because you keep doing it. So
That's fair. That's fair.
so, but yeah, so
Also, I just want to slide in there. I like how hard Caleb was trying to look in that scene.
yeah.
He's
It was weird watching him like that because I know him from Stranger Things. He's a nice guy in Stranger Things.
right. He's one of the good ones, as they would say.
Yes. What's your thoughts was about Method Man's acting?
So here is something funny. I'm stupid because in my notes I wrote Red Man. Like Red Man, Red Man. Like I was reading my notes before we recorded, and I'm like, oh wow, I am terrible. What I think about
they're about to do a versus, right?
oh, Red Man versus Method Man.
Yeah.
Why?
I think next week.
Okay, here's my question though. With these verses, why is it people just sitting down listening to their own music?
Well, it's not. They performing it.
Okay, so I've seen some verses where people are just listening to their own stuff.
Well, yeah, sometimes they do, and then they usually tell a story about like how they wrote it and everything like that. It's mainly just for us, the fans, nostalgia. Oh, I remember this song and this, and for them, they're once they do verses, their catalog gets spins or whatever, because people go back and download it and stuff like that. So it's kind of like nostalgia, and that's the thing. It kind of changed over the time because it was supposed to be this person versus that person. So for like when Nelly and Ludacris did theirs, it was okay. People were okay. This song Nelly did. Okay, Ludacris did this song. Which one's better? It was like a battle. Now it's more like we're about to just listen to these people do it.
Right.
So, yeah.
What's your question? What did I think of his acting, or what did I think of his character? What about me?
I was saying his acting.
It was solid.
I have a follow-up question after that.
Everybody was solid in the movie. Like I have like one comment about acting, but beyond that, like the acting was very good. Like I don't I feel like they had a good director to be like, okay, I need you to do this. They took the time with the people to just make sure that they got what was needed for the scene.
Because I know he's trying to bulk up because he wants to be Bishop in the Marvel movies.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know this. Do you know how old he is?
No.
I don't either. I was hoping you did. He was born in 1971, so he's 50.
Okay. But yeah, like on his IG, the picture that was posted, they were he big now. Like he been in the gym, and so do you think he could pull off Bishop?
I could see it. Just give him a wig and go for it.
So I hope he does get that chance.
It's just he's old now, though.
Man, you got makeup and prosthetics. It's all about acting.
I'm just saying, like, you know, the amount of movies you can churn out with them. And it's like Marvel, they're like, okay, we're gonna make a movie with this character in like 5 years. So yeah.
Right. That's true.
A lot of future notice. But good luck to him. So your thoughts on the movie.
Like you said, I thought it was good. I really liked how authentic it seemed to Philly.
Yeah.
Where they even used like the Philly slang and stuff.
I didn't know you were familiar with Philadelphia slang.
I wasn't until I was listening to another podcast and they was talking about this one girl. She's from Philly and the different terms that they use, and that's why I learned it, like John and stuff like that.
Like, isn't a John a person that picks up prostitutes?
No, it's not like John, like the name, like John. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to explain, but I just picked it up that was like the Philly slang.
Okay.
But overall, I thought it was a real good one. Idris did his part. Like with him, it's always weird because I know him from The Wire and everything. Oh, and when I see him in interviews, I'm like, he is English. It's always a trip every time I see him speak in real life, and I'm like, oh, that's right, he is English.
That's funny. I mean, overall, I like the movie. Like, if I were to rate it, I'd give it a 4 out of 5. It was a predictable story.
Yes.
And I wish they could have shaken something up with it. Like have Caleb die at the end or something. Like, I'm not saying he should have died, but like something so that this doesn't feel like a run-of-the-mill, like young boy gets dumped on his father's doorstep, and you know his father helps him become a man. Like shake it up.
It was very predictable. His friend that's bad things happen to.
Exactly.
He gets the girl.
Does he? She kissed him.
I mean, she kissed him, but I mean, I want to assume she taught him how to stand up on the horse. So I figured they a thing.
But also, let's back up a second. How old is she? I don't think I was able to find that, but he is under 18.
Yes.
And so if she is not, that's not okay.
Maybe they got different rules in
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Her name was Isha, and yeah, this is like her only credit. But yeah, so my biggest thing, like my biggest takeaway from this is that I wish that it would have been a documentary. Like, there's an extremely interesting story to tell about the whitewashing of cowboys and the origins of the term cowboys and urban, horse stables. Like, that is a really interesting story that I feel like is somewhat diminished because of this this movie. Like,
I guess we should give credit to the movie was based off the book Ghetto Cowboy.
Yes. Look
by Jesse Joshua Watson. So if you want to pick it up, you know where to do that. I do a little bit of research, a little bit.
I see.
But no, because I read the first stuff they had available for the Ghetto Cowboy book. And I think the Ghetto Cowboy book would be better than the movie, because just like all books, it's going to give you more information. in like the first scene about the whole school thing, it gives you from his point of view.
Okay.
So he's talking about, he's like, he could tell that his mother is yelling or angry, and this is a different kind of angry and stuff like that. For the first page that I read, I was able to find.
Okay.
So maybe the book will be a better choice and give you what you need. And you know how Hollywood takes a book and, you know, make it nice wrap up. Maybe in the book you get your fatal ending that you wanted.
I didn't want it. I just wanted something different. But like genuinely, I would rather, just like my absolute favorite part of the movie, and the part that I got emotional on, is the ending during the credits when they were actually talking to the real, you know, Cowboys, the real Concrete Cowboys, or just hearing their stories. And like the one guy was talking about, like I think he said he's in his 50s or maybe his late 40s or something like that, and he's never had any convictions because he had the horse stables to keep him on the straight and narrow. And that is an interesting story, and I want that story in a documentary. Right. So yeah, so that has been our first episode. We want to thank you so much for listening to the end. I had fun. Did you have fun, Matt?
I enjoyed myself. And I hope the listeners enjoyed themselves.
Yes, this is all reflective. You're holding up a mirror on them, huh? Yeah, so we will be back next week. I don't want to say what we're watching next time, not that it's a big surprise, but like if we got to make it like a quick about face, I don't want to pin us down to anything.
Right. Let it be a surprise.
But yeah, so I had fun. Matt had fun. This was not a total disaster. Hopefully this recorded.
Well, if it didn't record,
then we had a fun conversation between us.
Right.
But yeah, so hopefully we won't see you next time, but you'll hear us next time. And thank you for listening. Goodbye.
All right. Like, subscribe, write a review, do all that kind of stuff that people said in the podcast.
Yep. At the time of this recording, we're not on anything, but by the time you listen to it, we'll be on something, because that's how you listening to it. That's that inception thinking right there.
Right. So yeah, do all that stuff. Give us 5 stars.
Yeah. All right, we're out.
All right.